This? Oh, I've had this for a while. What's his name from the plant? Gave it to me. Lewis?
I haven't seen it. Black one. Black one's
Yeah, I hadn't seen him either. And he had one on. I said, hey, where'd you get that? He said, oh, we got a couple out there playing. I said, okay. And she blessed me and
Yeah,
she see me.
right.
And he gave it to me. That was like 6 months ago.
Huh. I asked Robin, she said, oh, when we get them, they're just like gone like that. I said, well, can you save us a couple of the board members?
Yeah,
Because you and I are the only ones that wear baseball caps.
I know. We never wears it, for sure. Next time I see Lewis, I'll ask him if there's any extra black ones.
Yeah, get a box.
Yeah. I don't know if he gets a box, but I'm sure he can get one for sure. No Lakima this morning? We lost the IT.
Yeah. Our gas is up to $8 in some places here in
I
California.
know. Tell me about it. My brother calls me every day to complain.
From where?
My brother Tony, San Jose.
Oh. It's probably more expensive down there, huh?
No, he's just cheap.
It sounds like a freaking race car driver, Tony Alvarado.
Yeah. That's him.
You guys
He's
get
definitely
along
not a
pretty good?
race car driver.
Huh?
He's definitely not a race car driver.
Older or younger?
He's older. 2 years older than me.
You guys get along?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we grew up together. It was 8 of us, and me and him were I'm the youngest, and he's the next to the youngest.
So you guys.
All right, y'all ready? Okay. I am calling this May 5th, 2026 West County Wastewater Infrastructure Operations and Environmental Committee meeting to order at 10:02 a.m. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Here.
And Chair Alvarado.
I am here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or observe a moment of silence. Director Antila, please lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under liberty and justice for all. Now it is time for public comments for items on the agenda. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comments?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on non-agenda items, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Okay, thank you very much. Deputy General Manager Michael Savannah, please lead us through the rest of the agenda.
Item 1 on the agenda is to accept the minutes of the April 14th, 2026 Infrastructure Operation and Environment Committee meeting. Madam Clerk, have we received any comment on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on item 1 minutes, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Okay. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion, accept the minutes.
Okay, and I second. Next item.
The next item is to receive a PIPES program update, including an overview on recommendations related to homeowners associations, and recommend that the item be presented to the full board for its consideration. So today we have Angela Andrews, our Director of Infrastructure and Planning. She's going to give us a presentation on our PIPES program and provide us with a couple of recommendations from staff.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Angela Andrews, Director of Infrastructure and Planning. And we have a short intermission. Okay, no, we don't. Okay, great. This is our Homeowners Association update. We were here last month discussing an update on the PIPES program. And we are come back to solicit feedback from the committee regarding our path forward with HOAs. And going to just re-share some slides that you all seen in the previous presentation, which is how this program fits within our strategic plan. Here are the strategic pillars: infrastructure optimization, environmental leader, organizational capacity development, fiscal responsibility, engagement, partnership, and advocacy. And you can see how this program aligns with each of those strategic goals. And I will also talk about the reasons why we are adding HOAs to our PIPES program. And it's to ensure public health, making sure we're a good environmental stewards, prevent spills, and keeping our waterways clean, and making sure our private sewer lateral compliance is up to date for HOAs as well, and ensuring a reliable wastewater system for the future. And we have been attending different MAC meetings in Q1, El Sobrante MAC, and Q3, Eastman, Richmond Heights, and North Richmond MAC. So we will continue to attend these types of meetings when we have the communication on the PIPES program and the HOA additions. And specifically for the HOAs, we know that there has been some associations that have reached out to us when we were seeking compliance, and so we will give them an update as well once we receive feedback and approval. And this is just a reminder of the rebate types that we have for the PIPES program. So we have $4,500 for a lateral replacement longer than 100 feet or deeper than 10 feet. Lateral replacement, all other pipelines are $3,000, and then $1,000 for a lateral repair. And that is in our high inflow and infiltration areas. That is a focus so we can make sure that we are protecting our sewer lines and infrastructure at the plant. And then all other areas that are outside the high I&I areas, they will receive $3,000 for the same amount for the lateral replacement for longer than 100 feet, $1,500 for a lateral replacement of all other pipelines, and then $500 for lateral repair. And so the inquiry that came to us is, what about HOAs? There are some HOAs that have their own private sewer lateral, and then there are others that have a shared sewer lateral. And what we are recommending is to use the existing $400,000 to cover both standard residential laterals as well as HOA shared laterals, and then those HOAs or those homes that are in a shared complex that have their private laterals, they will still go through the residential lateral program. And we propose 50% of the project costs, or $20,000, whichever is lower if it is a shared lateral. And then we will hope to apply this to the whole service area just to ensure equity. What we're seeing is that about $200,000 of the HOA of the sewer lateral program has been spent, so we think we can accommodate this HOA addition to the program because you all are allocated for 100. We are seeing on trend about 200, a little bit over 200,000. So we think we have room in the program to add on. And this is a very unique program. This is something that we have been researching across the region, and we haven't seen a lot of these programs with HOAs added. So this is a great benefit to the residents in the area. And that is our recommendation, and we look forward to hearing any feedback you have.
Okay, thank you so much for the presentation. Director Antila, questions, comments?
I do have questions. First of all, on HOAs, there's two different types of HOAs. One that's owned privately by a land developer, and then there's one that's on city property. Are you drawing a distinction between the two, or?
We don't have a distinction identified for the different HOAs. So if they submit an application to us, we'll review, but this is usually accommodating the property owner. So we'll have to see if there is a different path that needs to be taken. But right now, we just identify it as shared laterals HOA, but we don't have a differentiating
Okay, just
response.
pointing that out because the city of Richmond has a street sweeping program, and they don't street sweep in privately owned HOAs.
Oh, okay.
So I was just curious about that. And then is there contact information for people that are interested in the pipes program?
Yes, it's the same pipes information for the residential, so we can, I forgot the phone number. Armando, we actually have Armando Hodge, who is our engineer in our planning and support services, who also manages the pipes program. So, Armando, can you share the contact information? Because yeah, if you can. He does a lot of work on the pipes program, so you should
Okay.
probably talk to him
Got
too
it.
as well, yeah.
It still sees this.
Armando Hodge, Associate Engineer with Planning and Support Services.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning. So yes, the contact information is very similar. It's going to be 510-222-6700. I'm going to lead you to the permits information area, and that call will be spliced off to the pipes program area. So it'll get to the pipes program representative.
Can you repeat that number one more time?
No problem. 510-222-6700, option 3.
Okay.
And the email address is also pipesprogram@wcwd.org. So pipesprogram@wcwd.org.
Thank you. And I did have one more question. I had a call from somebody in the May Valley area, and they were saying that they only qualified for a $500 rebate. How is that?
Most likely it was a repair versus a whole sewer lateral
Recording in
replacement.
progress.
Guys, sorry about that.
Okay, we start all over?
No.
So it sounds like for the $500 amount, it might be a repair, but we can look into that, that residence
I'll have
inquiry further.
them call this
And
number.
we can take a look at it.
Thank you.
Okay, well, and the PIPES program is income-based, correct?
No, it's
When they
based off of them, if you, if I can get back to the PowerPoint, it's based off of the length of pipe and type of repair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much the person makes?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
That's good information put out there.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
I think we're good. Thank you, appreciate it.
I have to stay here. I have another position. Thank you. Actually, yes, just so we can see the breakdown again.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way.
That's right, Cinco de Mayo.
Okay, here you go. So it's lateral replacement longer than 100 feet or deeper than 10 feet, 4,500. All other pipelines, 3,000, and then lateral repair, 1,000, and that's in our high INI areas. And then all other areas are 3,000, 1,500, and 500. So that's why I think maybe that customer
Probably
might
why
be
that was 500,
but we should review it.
And in order to get that rebate, does it have to be done by a licensed contractor?
I mean, yes, we should
homeowner can't
send
do it.
that information to us and we'll reimburse.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
One second, Angela. Armando, I thought we had in our pipes program where the homeowner could do some of the work themselves. Is that in there?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I thought it was licensed, sorry.
Yeah,
Owner
but I think
builder.
they have different, they have to get quotes from contractors still in order to justify the price?
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification.
All right. I'm here for another.
Okay, next item, please.
Public comment?
So, yes, before we move on, we need to ask if there's public comment on item 2, the pipes program update. If anyone has any comments, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we can move on to item 3.
All right.
Thank you,
next item.
Angela
Thank you.
and Armando. The next item, item 3 on the agenda is to receive a presentation on the Advanced Quantitative Precipitation Initiative. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comment?
We have not. If anyone has any comments on Item 3, Advanced Quantitative Precipitation Initiative. Please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Bit of a tongue twister. Angela Andrews will give us a brief presentation on the AP, is it APQI
You
initiative?
get a gold star if you could say it 5 times fast. Yeah.
I hope you begin with a nice, detailed explanation on what this
will.
is.
It's going to the,
Give me 1 second.
okay.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna get some water, but you can continue.
Okay,
I'll listen while
okay. Do I need to do anything with the remote? Oh. I could talk about it won't be as fun.
Maybe you have to take this to the full board in order to vote to agree to having that.
Okay,
HOAs.
we are ready.
Here's a presentation to the board.
So today I'm presenting on the Advanced Quantitative Precipitation Information Program. It's about weather, you guys. That's a more complicated way of saying it. We're trying to predict the weather. So the AQPI program uses a network of radars that are throughout the region, and we're trying to have a better estimate or measure for rainfall. So this will help during the strong rainstorms that we're seeing so we can prepare better for emergencies. And as you can see, there's a series of bands throughout the Bay Area. So we have them all the way as far as down to Santa Cruz, Rocky Ridge, Sonoma Water, and Soar Ridge. And then there's a C band at Mount Barnaby. And I had the pleasure of visiting Rocky Ridge, and it's a really cool radar that is just detecting the rainfall in a more advanced way earlier. So the more, more information you have, the earlier you have that information, the more you can prepare. And this fills in the gap for traditional weather coverage. It gives us more timely data, and then it helps us for flood readiness and emergency response. And this is a collaboration throughout the region. This is one of the reasons why we wanted to participate in it. It's part of our strategic goal of being more collaborative with our regional partners and neighboring agencies. And so there's a team of local governments that are participating in this program, and it's led by the Sonoma area, and they have emergency managers throughout this region who are looking at this data, and it also includes water agencies such as ourselves, and in different communities throughout the Bay Area are also going to be participating in the AQPI project, and they're continuing to add more partners as they move along. So I can give you a breakdown of who they are. So it's being led by Sonoma County Water Agency, but also a lot of support by East Bay Discharges Authority. And you can't see, there's a little square, or thank you, just so you can see that Sonoma, SFPUC, and Santa Clara Water, they're putting in the lion's share of getting this program off the ground. And then us participating is actually helping us reimburse Sonoma for some of the initial costs that they had to contribute in order to start the project. But you can see there's a lot of folks interested in getting this information, and yeah, again, preparing for emergencies. So this is how it fits within our strategic plan. We talked about what the different breakouts are, and it shows how we are trying to reduce the risk of sewer spills. So if we have more information about the weather, we can reduce the risk of sewer spills. And that was it. So it's a $20,000 contribution. It's a 4% escalator on top of that. And legal has been reviewing the MOU, but we, even though this is not within the threshold of us having to present to the board, we wanted to make sure that because we're entering a new program, that you have this information and you could talk about it when you're out in your meetings and you might hear AQPI and just know that you're part of that program as well. And it will be also presented to the board, so, for full review.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Director Antila, questions?
I'm just curious, how accurate and how far into the future can they look into?
It's still in its early stages. So when I visited, I don't have the exact amount of months or days, but it would be more accurate than us just kind of checking the weather report on a daily basis. We probably have a few more weeks ahead of time, so that's, I believe, the goal. But we can get more specific information on the durations for the board.
Well, it sounds, if it works, like a really good program. And that's good that the entire board is going to get a briefing on this as well?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Well, we're actually looking for a recommendation to take this to the board.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we take this to the board.
Oh,
And I will second it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 4 on the agenda is to receive an update on the Clean and Green project, including information on new equipment, preventative maintenance, transition plans, energy, and biosolids handling. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comment on this item?
We have not. If anyone has any comments on item 4, Clean and Green Project Update, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
So Angela's still here.
Yeah, I was going to introduce
She's going to give us another presentation.
And you are?
She's going to give us another presentation. So she'll give us a presentation on the Clean and Green project. And I see she has a couple of staff members here with us that may give us a bid or answer some questions as well.
Hello, Angela Andrews, Director of Infrastructure and Planning. I know. I'm actually going to pass this along to our Senior Project Manager, Keith Reynolds. I just want to give him kudos because he was really looking forward to this presentation earlier. Things got in the way. He got bumped like the Tonight Show, and he took it like a trooper, and now he's back today. So,
Sounds good.
Keith Reynolds, you're next.
Hey everyone, how are you guys doing today? Keith Reynolds, Senior Project
Morning.
Manager. Good morning to you. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Clean and Green, where we are with it. We have a lot of amazing things that's happened over the last, I think like 6 months since I last spoke to you all regarding Clean and Green. We're making a lot of progress, and I think we'll have like substantial completion by the end of the year. So we're doing really good. We'll talk about the headworks portion that will extend into next year, but we'll be making power and things like that very soon here. So.
Hold on, let me do the first one.
Oh.
Is it working now? Still no?
There we go.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
All right. So some recent milestones that we've been able to reach. We've completed our remaining shutdowns at the headworks. Some testing. If you go up there now, you'll see a lot of construction around the headworks area. essentially what we're doing now is we're going to start installing a bypass piping. So I know Andrew talks a lot about some of the auxiliary projects that come from this project that kind of will benefit staff and organization in the future. And this is an example of that, right? Is that due to the cost of bypassing that system, Aptera is going to build us a bypass that we'll be able to keep forever, right? And this is a pretty substantial piece of infrastructure they're building there, and they're using some really innovative techniques and equipment that, for us, would probably be 30–40% more in cost if we were to do this on our own, right? So we're actually saving money by getting additional infrastructure that we normally would not be able to do or even thought about doing at the beginning of this project due to this project. So essentially, they're building a bypass. That bypass system will allow us to bypass our entire grid system into our wet well. So in the future, when our staff are doing maintenance of our headworks, of our new grid system that we're installing, they're able to do it without being in confined space. They're able to do it in a more safe manner, and we're able to maintain our system during that time. If we were to do this without this system in place, we would have to go through our EQ basins for an extended period of time and then bring that stuff back. You have smell concerns and things of that nature. That's eliminated now, right? We're going to build this new U-shaped bypass when you see that construction that's happening there. Okay? So that's one thing that we started there. The initial bypass piping, you see that little blue pipe in the upper right-hand corner, that's a wet well essentially that's going to bypass the flows that are inside of the treatment plant around where we're going to be digging and back into the wet well so we can work there. And so the next steps, starting in about 2 weeks, they're going to start doing drill in place concrete piles to support 2 manholes that will be installed at each of the junctions for the U that will act as housing for the air release valves that will be in place there. Okay? So you'll start seeing that there. You'll start seeing craneage being put up next week, and then the pounding of those piles into the mud, roughly 67 feet deep. Okay? We continue to install piping for our sludge holding, pumping. That's still happening. Those are new pumps that have come. Both of those are new pumps that came in the project. The larger one in the lower right-hand side, that is something we've added on as a change to the project. It was a 72-year-old pump. We just thought it was better to buy it. Luckily, we did before tariffs, and so we saved money due to that, making that action. The smaller pump was part of the original Clean and Green project. That piping is all being redone, so there'll all be new stainless steel piping, as well as new pumping inside of that building for future use. We started commissioning of our 12 kV building. That is where our BESS as well as our solar facilities will be connected into. That started. We are roughly probably a month away from starting to install the battery itself for the BESS. And so we're moving really quickly on that. We continue excavation around the VSS. We're going to install something called Biocrete. It's basically a soil administration kind of supplement to kind of stabilize the soil because it's really kind of bay mud, and then concrete will be laid on top of that. All right. We did start beginning to see the digester on the 31st of March, and I can give you guys great news. We're doing amazing. We're doing such a good job. We're going to start seeding number 2 here on Monday, coming up here. And so number 2 will be starting seeding on Monday of next week, the 11th. We hope by the end of May that both digesters will be stable to a point where we're creating our own treating gas as well as creating our own biosolids moving forward, our Class B. From that point, we'll start commissioning the centrifuge. I hope to have that done by the end of July. Okay. Continue digester testing for RDTs. We're still working on that. We had an issue with some RDT. We hope to have that done by March, but we had some issues, and we're moving forward with that, and we've kind of solved them, we think, and we're just getting that going. We got approval for our NIM 2 status by PG&E as well. Okay, startup continues for the RDT. I told you we had some issues. I was going to kind of mention them. They're performing as expected, but there's some backups inside the line, clogs. We think we found out that it was the manufacturer of the polymer, not really the equipment itself. So we're running a new polymer. I want to thank Andre at the plant. He did a great job kind of working with the last company, and we decided we just need to part ways and go with a different company. We were able to do that, and so far, so good, and actually it's a little cheaper polymer. The backup, we installed a backup line as a change to the project in case the RDT did fail. And that is in place to feed the new sludge inside of the digesters in case we do have an issue with RDT. So we gave ourselves a little security blanket in case we have an issue, so we can continue to seed our digesters and get them commissioned. The 7-day test, this equipment will be accepted after a 7-day test. We're going to wait on that until we start seeding digester number 2 to start the 7-day test, and we're just going to kind of use the seeding of digester number 2 as also a test to make sure the RDT is functioning correctly. Like I said, I want to thank maintenance and operations for their help with that. So this is the headworks bypass fencing. You'll see that up there. That'll be there until March of next year, essentially. Okay. Let me see if I have it. The small box in the upper right-hand corner, or left-hand corner there, that's what you'll see a pump there. That pump pumps around that blue pipe that I showed you in the earlier photo. Okay. Let me go here. And then commissioning schedule, seeding 101, like I said there. 102, we just discussed that today and agreed today that Monday will be the day we start seeded digester 102. Centrifuge will follow that. So we're looking at late May, early June for centrifuges to be done. At that point, we'll be at a Class B bioproduct and then a byproduct, and then at that point, it'd be West County's responsibility to transport this the sludge out off the site. Okay, and that is, we're currently looking at probably mid-June for that to be the case. Until then, Optera is still paying for the transportation of sludge off-site. I thought this was some good slides to kind of add here, just kind of talk to you guys about digester methodology and kind of what we're doing as we're seeding the digesters. I'm gonna go pretty quick about it, but primary purpose of the seed, we have an anaerobic digester. We add in biology is the main driver inside that will create the gas that we will use to create electricity here at West County. And what we've been able to do is to seed our digesters from the city of Richmond using their spent, quotations, sludge, and then we're adding it to hot water inside of our digesters here at West County. So we're getting something that's like a 1 or 1.2% solid, and we add it to pure water, right? So it takes time. So far, it took about 30 days or so for us to get to a point where we're comfortable with the digester, because we're diluting it with water. We have to do that because we have a new type of mixer, right? It's kind of a plunging type of mixer, and we have to keep a water line inside of the digester. So we have to keep it with water, and then we're adding the sludge in on the backside. We added roughly 300 and some odd thousand gallons of water, sludge from City of Richmond over a 5 or 6 day period. There was one period inside of the 30 days that we were very scared about the pH balance that was inside of the digester, and so we added some more seed to kind of support the biology inside of the digester. But other than that, it's been running very well. We're above a 6.8% pH, which that's where we want to be, between 6.8 and 7 pH level inside of our digester. And then we have basically energy standards, a 3-day OLR, and we are there now. We've been running probably like a 6 or 7 day just to be safe, just to make sure we're hitting all of our numbers, our gas numbers, and things of that nature. Let me go to the slide here. Our alkalinity goals, this is where we want to be, between 2,500 and 3,000. Right now, we're about 2,100, and we kind of going up rapidly, like 100 milligrams per liter a day over the last week. So that's why we're comfortable with starting seeding next week for digester number 2. Our concentration is on the lower end of that. It's about 80, and that's fine. That's not too bad of a number, but we're within range, and that's the most important thing right now. That as the digester matures, that will grow up over time. And then our temperatures between 95 and 98, we didn't think we can get to there. We were hoping to be 88 degrees. So the heaters have been very good, and they've been able to keep it between 95 and 98 degrees, which is amazing. I think that's one of the reasons it's being so successful in this time frame. And like I said earlier, we're right now about 6.83 consistently across the board on pH. So we're above where we wanted to be. We're within that range. We don't want to get to we're really above 7. That's kind of where we want to stop if we get there. Depending on our sludge, this might be our pH at our plant at the 6.83. That just might be what it is. It's within this range, and that's kind of all that really matters. And then adding chemistry, like I said earlier, we've been increasing the rate. We started at a 15% rate, which is basically 15% of the sludge that we create. I'm saying sludge, that's primary sludge. It's also secondary toiles that we have coming from the plant. 20% of that, 15 to 20% of that, that's what we were feeding into the digester over about a 2-week period. We then increased it. Thursday is our increase day that we call. So we increased it 10% because we were scared about the pH that I told you about earlier. And last week we increased it by 20%. So now we're getting about 57%, 60% of the entire plant sludge is being added to our new digester. This Thursday we're going to increase it another 20% as long as all the numbers remain how they are. And then that will hopefully increase the alkalinity. The more food is in there, the more activity you'll have of the biology, the more biology will be able to grow, and then hopefully that stuff will be created. We have seen a correlation of our increases into some of the numbers, especially when it comes to alkalinity, our pH, and things of that nature. So that's been very, very inviting. Some actions with souring digesters. These are some things you can do. A souring digester is something that is below a 6.6 pH, right? That's something we have there. That means the biology is dying, and that means we have a big issue. That means I have to drain that entire thing, I have to clean it, and then we have to restart the whole process over. So to protect from that, we've done a couple things. Andre was able to source caustic in a tote. I was able to work with Optera to keep our seeding piping in place, as well as there's something called a charge tank that's there. And so what we'll do is we'll add the caustic to the tote, ask Richmond to send us some sludge, and then that will mix, and then that will be added into the digester in case we have an issue. So if our pH gets too low, that's something that we've done on our side, on West County side, to kind of protect against this issue. Caustic is something that Optera cannot buy. It has to be a government agency to buy something like that, right? They could buy lime, but if I bought lime, I would have to have a truckload of lime, and then I'll have people out there dumping it into there. So it's just better for us to buy a tote of caustic, which is dangerous. It is in secondary containment, and it's protected in case we need to use it. So that's our option. Plant staff are used to using chemicals. It's just the safest way of doing it. If it happens on a weekend, they understand what to do. We have a chemical pump there that will pump into the charge tank, then they'll be able to dose the digester if needed. Knock on wood, so we don't have that issue so far. Talks about lime. Lime is mostly used because it's non-toxic and it's cheap and it's accessible. You can get it from Home Depot. And so most people get that, but I have to give a 50-gallon drum. I have to mix it up like it's paint, and then I have to throw it in some way into the digester. I would have to raise it above our head, and that's more dangerous at that point, right? So we just want to kind of eliminate those kind of issues. And so like I said, we chose caustic. More seed, less seed. This is kind of like a decision chart we kind of go through on a daily basis. We have 3 meetings a day. We have a meeting at 7 a.m. Every morning. We talk about the numbers from the previous day, what we're going to do. We have an afternoon meeting, me and Andre Guyton, which is HDR's representative. We talk, and then we have one at 3:30 every day as well to close the day out, to find out what the biology is. Our plant staff, our lab staff are doing a lot of testing to kind of monitor this. Everybody has jumped on. I'm doing OIT stuff, so I have to help sometimes. There's a lot of sampling that's done with this during this commissioning phase for the digester. And there will be additional sampling that needs to be done in the future just regularly, but not as much as during the commissioning. We just want to make sure the digesters are in a healthy state. So they're getting numbers, we're putting them on spreadsheets, we're tracking it, and we're looking at trends, and that's kind of the purpose of those meetings, to get together all the people who are decision makers and the people who have knowledge about it. Question, we nitrogen purge. So we had the nitrogen purge multiple aspects of this project. The digesters have to be purged with nitrogen. As I told you before, we have a water line that above that water line needs to have all the oxygen vacated from it, right? So we can avoid explosion, right? So when you have oxygen, you have fire, you have explosion. So the nitrogen goes in there to kind of kick that out. We monitor the oxygen levels inside of the gas piping as well as the flare, as well as the digester on a daily basis. We want to make sure it's below 0.2% oxygen inside of any of those different aspects of the gas system to avoid explosion. Right now, starting Tuesday, we're going to gas purge the gas cleaning skid because we're going to start making our own gas and we got to start testing the cogen. So we're going to start making power here shortly. That's our anticipation. I kind of go through this quick. Some of our, we want to get it online. We was hoping to kickstart the seeding by filling 150,000 gallons of sludge. We ended up doing more than that. We saw that it was more helpful to do. And so we want to get Synagro off site, not just for us, but we are a partner with Optera, and they are paying that cost now, and it's pretty substantial. So we're trying to get this online as soon as possible. So our feeding, our digester, we've been doing 10%. Like I said, last week we did 12. So right now we're about 22,000 gallons of our sludge coming in on a daily basis. We produce roughly about 45,000 gallons on a day. And so we're pretty, like I said, we're pretty excited that we're getting so much of our sludge in there. I have a lot of these sludge on there in case you want to kind of look back on them and kind of know what we're doing. I'm just going to go through them pretty quickly. So the monitor startup, like I told you earlier, pH, vital solids is very important to us. Our solids content is very important to us. We want to make sure we're getting that. That's important because at a certain point, we cannot discharge to our headworks. So right now, we're below 1% solid, and we're discharging that into our headworks. So if I have a tank with 750,000 gallons right inside of it, I have to add this 25,000 gallons a day into there. That 25,000 gallons that's in there has to go somewhere, and it goes through the overflow. Now, when we get into regular operation, that's going to go to our centrifuges, to tank 103, to our centrifuge, and then been sent out. But we're not there yet. And so right now it's being sent through a drain back to our headworks. But once it gets to 1%, that's too thick to go through our piping, right? And so at that point, we have to have other ways of getting rid of it, and that's going to be basically sending it off-site, right? And so that's why we have to monitor that, and we have to make sure it's there. We don't want to clog that pipe because we need it in the future. More or less see, why are we doing this, when are we doing this? This kind of dance will be something that plant staff have to do forever moving forward on there, right? When are they gonna give seed? When are they not gonna do seed? When Richmond seeds come in, when are we, all these kind of dance, this coordination is gonna be there, but that's something we did before. Right? So that's something that was part of the process in general with the digester. You're going to monitor those things and figure out how much seed, when you're wasting, that's all part of the process. But that is something that we did before. That's something that we're going to do now. I think now they have more technical inputs like monitoring, SCADA, and different things like that they didn't have before. And so it's not more of I'm keeping something on a piece of paper and I'm guessing, I'm going to do it this way today. They're going to have data and information that every morning they'll be able to get and say, we're going to do this or do that. And that's another benefit of this project. Does the plan include inert gas? Yes, I talked about that, the headspace, and what we're doing for that. I put this on here because I want you guys to really understand the purging process. If we do have an issue in the future, this digester has to be taken down once every 2 years or so. They can be cleaned. This purging process will have to be done again, right? So this is a process of cleaning the digester and also putting it back on, right? So I just want to let you know, because if you guys are on the board and they come to you like, hey, we have to get a contract of purging, you understand what we're doing, why we need it, right? We had an issue with the digester, or there's some kind of issue where we have to clean it earlier, or some annual cleaning of the digester or the gas cleaning skid. You have to use nitrogen to kind of purge that, so it's for safety purposes for everyone. And then contributions of HDR. I know there was some talk about HDR. I just kind of want to talk about what they've done. Like, they've had a lot of contribution to us. I don't think we would be in this position without their aid and assistance. HDR was not the lead project manager, outside project manager at the beginning of this project. Crollo was. financially, that became a challenge. I approached HDR, and I feel like they've been more than stepped up to the plate. They've done an amazing job so far. I think the cost that we've given them over time is way lower. I think we gave them one change order over this time, and this project was originally supposed to be 3 years, and we were double the time. So we've been able to extend the amount of money that we gave them over a long period of time and get a very high level of service, very high level of service. In my 20 years, they're the best contractor I've ever worked with. I can say that, no doubt.
I'd like to put parentheses around that last statement,
It's about.
because it's important for our ratepayers to understand that we're being proactive in saving money.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that, they're making them that lead was that, thinking about cost, because to be quite honest, I don't think we got the same level with the same amount of money if we stayed the path we were at, right? Internal benefits, they're helping train WCW staff. That's something that wasn't even part of the original project, but their staff is so knowledgeable that our staff have been able to walk around. Just something like a mass balance calculation. We had staff that did not know how to do that, and they do now, right? Because they've been able to be with HDR, talk to them, see how they work, see why it is important, right? And now they're doing it, asking me questions about the solids numbers and things of that nature. That never happened here. Right? So that's one thing that they've been able, that's just an example of something that they've been able to do as an extra benefit to West County that's outside of actually even their scope of work that you're getting from having them here. Their CMS support was absolutely amazing. We were able to get that online. That addition has been very helpful for us and their staff, and they're using it now, right? They're actually going out, doing these PMs and things of that nature. Their knowledge base and helping that has been great. I know Andrew always talks about like the bench, right? They have a large bench and a very knowledgeable one, right? I can ask them about hot water. What is hot water? He will find someone in their organization that knows about it. And so like that benefit for this kind of project has been astronomical, right? And I say the output of contracts was roughly 70%. Addition and time frame due to the amount of money that we've been able to give them. They've saved us a large amount of money. How do we calculate that? It's very simple, right? There's been multiple change orders that Optera has sent that we've been able to deny due to the amount of information that HDR has been able to track, right? So let's say they sent me something, and I'm like, well, contractually, blah, 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 and I have the proof to show you that that's not something I'm gonna do. Right, and that's very much so because of their attention to detail that they've been able to kind of give us. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, can I add something when you're done?
Oh, okay. I'm done with this slide.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to add a few things. Morning, Mr. Chair.
Morning.
Andrew Cloud, General Manager. I just wanted to add a couple of things to what Keith was talking about here with HDR and Carollo. This is a huge lift project-wise for this agency to do the amount of infrastructure, not just improvements, but replacement through the guts of the treatment plant. And we had a lot of consultants, especially at the beginning, on board. Carollo was acting as project manager intentionally, with the idea of helping to provide and train and create systems, which they did, as far as how we're tracking through eBuilder, things like that. And HDR as well, but both of them had overlapping capabilities, which was very intentional. And then through the project, as things developed, Keith developed changes at Carollo and personnel available with HDR, a number of things shifted from one consultant to another. And that's why you've seen some of the contracts coming, and there'll be sort of reauthorizations of funding within the project, but moving from one consultant to another. And it's very intentional to have had a number of them in place like that so that we don't have any issues when we run into a problem and we need something, we need it quickly. This project wasn't going to give us a chance for, just waiting around and saying, well, we got to go through another process and get this figured out later. It wasn't going to be there. And so the bench strength of the firms involved and the continued help from some of our smaller consultants as well. Because sometimes when you see money saved and money spent is often more money saved, depending on what you did and what the analysis was and what kind of planning and engineering support. And some of our Smaller help like Tim is awesome. I want to make sure I say his last name. Holmes, thank you. I always mix it up with too many Tims that I know right now. As far as value for it, but this is, I agree, HDR has really been beneficial in this and can continue to be as we go through the transition, which is sort of the last phase of this project, was to move into the transition to where it's operated and maintained at the plant in coordination with some long-term with Optera, but it becomes that, not a project anymore. So, thanks, Keith. Just want to give you a background.
Thank you.
And like you said, even Corolla still has a role. It just changed, right? Things have changed, things have shifted. He said Tim does an amazing job when it comes to like understanding like the numbers when it comes to the environmental stuff. So everybody has a role. I just kind of wanted to highlight this because I think there was some questions about HDR and cost, and I just kind of want to kind of give you guys an understanding like the value that you are allowing us to have by approving them to be with us and work with us. They've been very, very good. And I was going to open the floor to questions. If you have any questions, I'm open to answer them.
Director Antila, questions, comments?
Sure. At the beginning of the presentation, you talked about the bypass. I was wondering if that has a dedicated generator system, or is it tied into our existing system? And then is the lockout tagout process the same?
Okay, so you're talking about when it's built?
Yeah.
When it's built to be passive, there will be no pumping or anything that happens.
Oh, I
Essentially,
see.
there'll be a gate. They'll be able to, the gate will go
gotcha.
down and it'll just go around.
I
passive.
got you. That's good. And then lockout tagout is the same then?
Yeah, it'd all be on SCADA. So basically, there'll be a concrete weir built inside of the existing channel, and that'll be what we believe the 28.3 million gallons height would be if the water is coming in. Anything above that will go over the top because it'll be outside of the what is acceptable for the new grid system. So it'll be passive.
And are we contracting the pump alignments, or is it done in-house?
Anyhow, well, you want the pump line for the bypass?
Yeah, for all of our pump alignments.
That's normally done with, well, in this case, it's done through Optera, right?
Okay.
They're doing that because they have that. I think if we did it on our own, that designer would handle that.
And naturally, throughout the years, you're going to have some hiccups. So I was just curious if we're on target with our milestones and our commissioning.
I would say we're a little delayed on that when it comes to like schedule-wise. But I would say everything else we are on track with, like financially, things of that nature. I think we're on track there.
That's awesome because that doesn't happen that often.
No.
And then, yeah, the digesters, that was an interesting presentation.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like a blender. You put too much
Basically, it's-
product in it, it slows the RPMs down and it can burn it up. But
Yeah, you make them too sleepy, then they
Yeah.
don't produce gas, yeah.
and so are our guys trained and have PPR to put in the caustic substances if they have to thin it?
Yes.
Awesome.
We have caustic infrastructure on site now, inside of the C&D building, so everyone understands how to use the caustic, and we have the proper PPE.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I'm sure we'll be hearing it again at the full board meeting, right?
You will soon. Please.
Yeah. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
I guess the next thing is to recommend this to the full board for approval, correct? Or motion for that?
Yes. Yep, just for a presentation to the full board.
I'd like to make a motion to.
And I'll second. Okay, thank you. Next item.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is item 5, reports on issues or matters pertaining to the work of the committee. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comment on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on item 5, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
So one thing I'd like to make this committee aware of is item 2, we actually plan on taking to the full board unless this committee has some opposition to it. And then there is the calendar forecast. So for the June 9th we have a full meeting, there'll be a presentation on the data collection and use by Polygon, force main assessment project update. There's the sewer main abandonment, a quick claim, so that should be a really quick claim item. Update on the old and new solar installation, it was requested by this committee. And then there is a maintenance modular building update that we will be presenting at that meeting as well.
Okay, thank you. And Director Mantilla, any further matters for future committee meetings?
I'd like to, in the future, somewhere down the road, maybe the summertime, I'd be interested in hearing a presentation on how we're incorporating AI out in the field. Maybe with sniffers or whatever. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
The next Infrastructure Operations and Environment Committee meeting is scheduled for June 9th, 2026, here at 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you very much. And this meeting is now adjourned, and it is 10:55 a.m.
Awesome.
I'll leave this here. Get it some other time.
Good meeting.